ESSA application and tentative plans for the use of funds.
Okay, good evening once again. So, as the Federal Programs Director, I have to put out a public comment for parents to review how much funding we're getting, if they have any recommendations for how we want to spend the money. So, we do that every year, and I know that we have Mr. Morones, Mr. Zarate, and that's it. Everyone else has been here. So this is already the 10th year we've been doing this, and sometimes we get 5 or 10. This time when I looked at Thought Exchange, there was 50 that had potentially responded, but they didn't complete the survey. So the one comment we did have, and Ms. Pearson had shared this with us earlier, was, I feel our school is doing everything they possibly can for our low-income families and their needs. So apparently, when we have meetings with our parents, what we call the DPAC, and we had invited some of you to come, or all of you to come, and we let them know how we're spending the money, like what are we doing with our funds, what's happening. So I'm going to kind of go through the grant application, and I'm going to share with you what we've done previously and what we're going to continue to do. So, as a federal grant application, there's a law, a local law, and a state government code that states we have. Can y'all see this? Are y'all able to see this? But y'all have the PowerPoint, right? Because I know it's facing me. Y'all want me to turn it a little bit? Tell me when. Right there? Okay. So, by law, I have to come to you to explain what we're doing with the funding, so that way you're aware of how we, based on a needs assessment conducted by this staff here, our campus administrators, and their CAP meeting, they kind of say, this is where we want to go, our ELAR results showed this, and this is how we want to spend it. So this just tells you that we are adhering to our board policy by coming to you with a public comment. Which are the grant applications? These are the 3 grant applications that we have, but today we're going to focus on the ESSA Consolidated Federal Grant, which is Title I, Title II, Title III, and Title IV. So in order to meet compliance, this is our local policy, CBB. So we're going to go through this, that we submit our grant application. So I won't submit it till like the end of June, but I have to present this information prior to submitting it. Okay, so what do we do with our funding? So we get funding for all of these grants through Title I, Title II, Title IV. What do? So Title III, Title I Part C, which is the migrant, we only get about 40,000, and it's in here. So what we do with that is I do what's called a shared service arrangement with Region 20, and they handle everything for us, because it's really difficult for us to have 2 recruiters on hand, a migrant counselor, a migrant coordinator. You would have like 3 or 4 positions for 40,000. So what would that mean to the district? That we would have to put in from local funds to pay for those positions. So when we do a shared service arrangement, where Region 20 does all that for us. They recruit, they counsel, they take them to visit colleges, and they give them those opportunities. But the other ones, Title I, Title II, and Title IV, what we do, I transfer it, we transfer, and it all becomes part of Title I. What does that mean? That means that even though it's Title II, which means that principals and teachers, there's certain things that they can do with Title II funds, I move it into Title I, 100% of it. And why do I do that? Because it makes it easier for our folks, our principals, our administrators to spend the money. It's not tied to, oh, I have to send principals to training. Oh, I have to do this, and now I'm held accountable for doing these things. Title I opens the door, It's a big, wide door, and we can spend money because we're called school-wide, and we have so many other ways we can spend the money, and it's not tied to Title II regulations. Does this make sense? So I'm opening the door for our staff and their needs and making it, giving them more opportunities to bring in specific PD, specific training. We pay for the curriculum specialist. So we're opening the door for a bigger opportunity of how to expend the money. So that's called funding transferability. It allows us to redirect the funds into Title I. So that's an allowable. We've been doing that for about 4 or 5 years. And here it tells you what the Title I Part A, what are we supposed to do? Provide supplemental resources to our campuses. They're all school-wide, so Ms. Diaz is gonna be really good this year, and we're doing a per-student allocation, so that's how we're gonna allocate the funding. So those are the things we do with Title I. Well, how do we pay for? So you'll notice here the low-income students. So in reality, the funding, CSI should get a big portion of the funding, but you notice that everyone is over 70%. So those are the schools we're supposed to target, campuses that are over 70%. But look, all our campuses are over 70%. So we pretty much spread the wealth, okay? So what do we do with the Title I funding, which is called our 211? We pay for our district and campus level staff, contract services, and supplies. Title II Part A, we received $120,957,000. 100% of that is, once again, redirected to Title I. What do we pay for out of this? Contracted services and supplies. And if you're asking what is contracted services, we have, Mr. Talamantes can help here. We have NWA, Ms. Pearson can help. We're going to go into Emergent Tree this year. We're doing something new with Mills Rogers. It has to do with positive reinforcement. Oh my gosh, what else, Mr. T? IXL, we're going to pay for IXL. So any supplemental programs that you can think of that I have requests, okay, our data showed this in math, and we really want to get IXL. Can we do it? And I said, well, did you go through your CAT? The funding is there. You let me know. I appropriate the funding based on the campus need. Whether it's math, ELAR, whatever it is, I appropriate the funding, and they get to spend it. And of course, I help them with whatever federal requirements need to be completed, we do that. Title IV, this is $77,790. This funding we use for travel. So we're sending all our staff this summer is going somewhere. We've given them the opportunity. We have teachers going to, ISTE, I-S-T-A, I always mispronounce it, ISTE. They're going, I think the curriculum specialist just went to TeacsCon, right? They just came back from there. We're going to send a big group, a minimum of 5 per campus to the company's called Solutions Tree, but they're attending PLC, Professional Learning Community. Sorry, I'm thinking about the public. So we're spending, I was looking at, Bria and I were trying to figure out, it's about $50,000-$60,000 that we're sending staff this summer, including from the principal to any teacher that wanted to attend. We've given them the opportunity. In fact, CSE is sending some teachers, Ms. Garcia, to a writing seminar, I think in Victoria, and we're figuring out how to fund that also. So we're trying to stay away from local funds and giving these teachers an opportunity. And this is the first year that teachers have had the opportunity to travel that much, including as a team. They're taking teams to the PLC, so it's really a great opportunity, and we're planning the same thing. We're planning to use this funding for, and administrators. Administrators this year went to, ladies, gentlemen, what did y'all go to? Garcia? Oh, Kinder, all the Kinder teachers, all 8 of them are going to the Elevate conference. So, I mean, it's exciting because this is really the first year that you have a big group of teachers attending staff during the summer, and I think the principals are really excited. What else? Y'all went to Midwinter. So they're going to Solutions Tree. Some went to what's that one in November where they go for the testing conference. They went to that. So we're using federal funds to pay for all of this plus any programs that our students need. Anything else? The mentor program that we have we have a contract with Jamie and Marie. We pay for that also. We provide services for our paraprofessionals. I bring in Jamie and Marie, and they provide training for them. So, I mean, anything you can think of that's supplemental, that's not required by the state, we take care of it. This year, we're doing a little bit differently. With summer school, we use state comp to pay for it, but that's, I mean, we're providing services. We came up with leads. There's 2 leads this summer that you approved. Title I funds is paying for that. So we're trying to do some new things and helping our administrators because we know how busy they are. So that's why we're here. I'm presenting to you what we're going to, and it's the same thing. We're not taking anything away from any of our campuses. There's nothing that we're going to be removed unless they find data that shows that that program wasn't working. At that point, they make a decision. Not me, not Ms. Pearson. They make the decision, hey, it's time that we not use this program and try something new. Okay? And that's all I have. Any questions for the public comment and how we spend our funds? No? Okay. I'm looking. Mr. Doria?
So those are all federal grants, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how do the federal government determines how much the police?
It's based on that number. The number of the 70%, 79%, 78%, and they do a per student allocation. We have a worksheet that we're supposed to follow. It went down a little bit this year because, everything going on with how they were going to cut our funding, but it didn't go down massive. Maybe 1% we lost a little bit of funding, but it wasn't massive. I don't know if it's coming, or is that all we're looking at? Yeah, the higher those numbers are, those percentages, the more money. Yes, it's not, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember before we were not able to utilize all the funds, right? So they rolled over?
15%, they allow for 15% to roll over, and if I go over like the 15%, I have to send them a reason. So we're hoping this year, because we did it last year, we went over the 15%, and we had to explain to them that summer school was split and we didn't have. This year we're paying for a lot more staff than we did. Like I wasn't able to do things before that I'm allowed to do now. So like now I think our professional is like $1 million. I think we're, Michelle, right? Michelle, we said about $1 million. We're looking at $1 million of that Title I that's going into staff, whereas before it was like $300,000, $400,000. But we can pay for like the art teacher, the PE teacher, the music teacher. As long as they're certified, we can pay for them because they're extra, they're supplemental. I'm not required, Ms. Pearson's not required that she has to give art. She has to have, those aren't required positions, so we can supplement them by using Title I funds. That's how we're paying for the music and art teacher.
So as much as possible, we need to use them first before we use the...
Yes. I know that what you're going to hear a lot of what's reclassification, because you can't, I don't even know, Ms. Diaz needs to explain this a little bit more. I can't say, oh, I'm giving you the Title I funds first. We can't appropriate it. That's not the right word. But we use local funds and then we reclassify. But I was just looking at all the travel right now, and Bria and I came up like it's going to be $43,000 this summer for everyone's travel. So they're really spending, this year we're really good at spending money. I don't know if that's good, but it's good for me. Ms. Diaz, it's good. Yeah, so we can't allocate, what is it? She can explain it.
Okay, so on the travel, we cannot expense it if it's in advance. So if you're going to a travel in the future, we can't expense it because it hasn't occurred. So we put it in a prepaid account. That's all we do. And then after the travel has occurred, we then at that point expense it. It's just an accounting item. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a problem.
Can I add one thing, Mr. Doria? That was a very good question. Our economically disadvantaged percentage, because we are a community eligibility program and all of our students receive free breakfast and lunch, we really rely on our families filling out the finance question during registration, because the economically disadvantaged percentage is what we need,
Which
for
is
our
this number.
PIMS data. And what's important to the families, all the families that are here and all the families that are listening, is that our students benefit tremendously from these funds. The students are able to get extra technology, adaptive programs, the age of learning that some of them are doing at home right now with reading and math. Many of those things are paid from this money, so it's really important that we gather that data. So please help us by doing the returning student registration.
Even E-rate is based on these numbers.
Well, yes, for our technology.
And one thing that you're going to be hearing now that I'm doing both special ed and federal programs, we did pick up, CSI was really strong about their teacher, Ms. Bettis, wanting a special ed program, like a curriculum program, because they didn't have anything. But somehow we're going to figure this out that we get it for everyone, not CSI only, but Title I paid for it this past year, but we're going to make sure that we figure out how to pay for it for CSE and for our resource classes, because I have some special ed teachers that are already calling, and Ms. Pearson and I are we already put it, I had asked her if we could do a survey. I want to survey our special ed teachers and our special ed paras to find out what they need, because one of the things they told me is, we haven't had training. We haven't had, paras said, I haven't had any training. I said, but I bring training. Yeah, miss, but you bring it for general ed, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So when Marie and Jamie come, we're gonna do half a day regular and half a day only for special ed, because they said they feel like they're not getting anything. So there's some things that are going to change, and I hope they're for the best for our staff. So any questions? Oh, and the special ed, just to give you a heads up, our special ed population is going up. I'm not saying.
What was the dollar amount this year?
For
Title I funds? What, is it on there?
So last year it was 1,041, 1,041,686. This past year it was 1,237 and change. It was maybe, does that make, I don't know what the difference would be, maybe 100? It was 1,041, last year it was 1,167, 100 something, like 76, 176.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, item 5, student staff recognition. We have the high school.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to recognize our students. I want to call up Mr. Scamera so he can assist me with this one here. You want to come help me, sir? Good evening, everyone. I would like to invite Mr. Scamilla. Thank you, Mr. Scamilla. It is a pleasure to recognize one of Carrizo Springs' most outstanding students, and today I want to recognize Alexandra Chapa. So, Ms. Chapa, if you want to come up. Or to the front. It is a pleasure. This year, Alexandra proudly represented our school at the UIL State Meet in Poetry Interpretation, placing 8th in the state of Texas. 8th in the state of Texas. What's more impressive is this is her second consecutive year representing Carrizo Springs High School at the state level. And she's only a junior. Even in the face of personal tragedy, her dedication never faltered. Instead, she has carried herself with resilience and grace and continues to rise. In addition to her involvement in UIO academics, Alexandra is also an active member of our cheer team, band, Mean Purple Band, NHS. We're proud of you, Alex. We can't wait to see what next year brings, your senior year. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to item 6, Lone Star Governance. I'm going to give you a summary of what that is. Lone Star Governance is a framework developed by the Texas Education Agency designed to support school boards in improving student outcomes through focused governance. Over the past several months, our board has actively engaged in this continuous improvement process by reviewing student performance data, reflecting on governance practices, and identifying key areas of need aligned with our with our district's vision and values. As part of this effort, the board has collaboratively developed draft board goals that are specifically designed to increase student outcomes. In addition, the board has established board guardrails and superintendent guardrails to clearly define the boundaries and priorities that will guide decision-making and keep our work aligned with what matters most, student success. These efforts reflect a commitment to focus our leadership around what our students need to thrive. Our goals and guardrails have been informed by community input, ensuring that the voice of our families and stakeholders remains central as we move forward. We're going to discuss and possible action for the Board of Trustees to consider approval for the Lone Star Governance Board goals. These are the ones that we did with the percentages of the star that we're going to increase from.
There are no more questions. I make a motion to approve the Lone Star Governance Board goals.
Motion made by Aldoria to approve the Lone Star Governance Board goals.
President Franco, we are looking at, we're not looking at superintendent goals?
We're looking right now at the drafted board goals.
Board goals, okay.
Board
thank you.
goals.
I apologize, thank you.
Okay, motion seconded by Oscar Morones. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Okay, B, discussion and possible action for the Board of Trustees to consider approval of the Lone Star Governance Board guardrails. And these are the board guardrails.
Yeah. If there are no questions, President Franco, I'll make motion to approve. Second.
Motion made by Michael Uriega, seconded by Jeff Ortiz to approve the approval of the Lone Star Governance Board guardrails. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Item C, discussion and possible action for the Board of Trustees to consider approval of the superintendent guardrails.
Point of inquiry, Madam President.
Yes.
If it's possible for us to make some amendments before we pick the 5 guardrails.
Yes. Yes, I believe on these we want to go down to, we want to narrow down to 5.
So, I want to make an amendment for item 3, which read as like, the superintendent shall not show favoritism toward or confer any preferential treatment upon any relative employed by or seeking employment in the school system. So I just want to include not only the relatives, but employees. So my amendment starts from upon any relative. So this will be my, this will be the the superintendent shall not show favoritism toward nor confer any preferential treatment upon any relative or employee in matters related to hiring, promotion, or assignment to higher positions within the school system.
Okay, so that's how you want to amend number 3.
Three, yes.
Number 3. Okay. Do I have a?
So, okay.
Okay. Okay, so we'll,
Can I make that?
anybody have any
proposal?
questions? Any questions on this amendment? Okay. The amendment is the superintendent shall not show favoritism toward nor confer any preferential treatment upon any relative or employee in matters related to hiring, promotion, or assignment to higher positions within the school system. Everyone's okay with that amendment for number 3?
Does that need to be put to a vote, the amendment?
We're gonna vote on all, approving
Okay.
all of them.
With
On
that
all
change?
8, yeah.
Okay.
We need to narrow down
Do
to
you-
5,
you-
but this is a change for number 3.
Thank you. Do
Yes.
you need a motion to recommend 5 specific items here?
Yes, so we need to narrow it down to 5,
Okay.
yes.
I'm gonna make the first motion, if I may, President Franco. I'm gonna make the motion to remove number 1, 2, and 5 on this list in regards to superintendent guardrails. And with that being said, perhaps not tonight, but we definitely need to, I think as a board, would need to discuss on how those 3 could be managed. So,
Okay.
for further discussion, I would like to bring that back for further discussion. But that is my recommendation.
Okay.
Items 1, 2, and 5.
1, 2, and 5 to drop.
To remove.
To remove
Yes.
1, 2, and 5. With these changes. Anybody? Okay. But either way, we're keeping these 5, so, those will still remain the guardrails. I'm saying that you want to continue the discussion, but these will be the 5 that we're going to keep, after dropping 1, 2, and 5,
Correct.
and amending 3.
And you're right, the 5, if we are to narrow down to 5, I would say 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 should remain.
Okay.
I'm making that recommendation or motion.
Madam President,
Yes.
I think
If there's
I-
further discussion, by all means.
I am in favor of Mr. Oriega's suggestion because 1 needs, I think, number 1 needs advice or approval by the board, and number
2.
Number 2, yes, sir.
2 and 5.
the same needs the board's approval, and number 6.
I'm recommending number 5, sir.
Oh, number
Mr.
5,
Story.
yes. Number 5 needs board approval, I think.
Okay. Thank you.
2, and 5. Oh, okay. So the motion was made to remove 1, 2, and 5, and amend number 3. Motion made by Michael Oriegas, seconded by Wilbur Cruz. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, just before I go to a vote, the motion is gonna be to approve the 5. Okay, so is
Correct.
everybody approving with the 5 with amended 3? Okay. So, do they need to restate the motion?
Okay.
So I'll need a motion to
Madam
accept,
President,
to approve the 5.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 guardrails plus the one amended.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Doria to approve the guardrails plus the amended one. Seconded by Oscar Morones. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. Okay. Item 7, public comment.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ruben Escamilla, and I'm the UIL Academic Director, retiring, of course. As my retirement begins, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the administration, faculty, and Carrizo Springs CISD School Board, past and present. Your ongoing support has been instrumental not only for me as a UIL Academic District Director, but for the countless students whose lives have been touched by this program. For the past 35 years, I have enjoyed the privilege of watching our students push themselves, grow academically and creatively, and represent Carrizo Springs with pride, poise, and passion. It's been more than a job. Believe me, it's been a calling. Our journey began with a vision in the late 1970s when Superintendent Enrique Uribe and the first appointed UIL Director, Hector Z. Escamilla, dreamed of a strong and competitive UIL academic program. That dream became a legacy, and yes, a dynasty. Students and coaches have remained steadfast in their dedication to academic excellence. Each generation has passed the torch to the next, each more eager than the last to rise up to that challenge. In the past 10 to 15 years, that spirit of excellence has expanded even further with the growth of a theater program, and that is thriving, one that now stands as a powerful force of creativity, discipline, and school pride. This program has helped to shape leaders, storytellers, and lifelong learners, and it deserves every ounce of support and protection that we can offer. At the heart of that program is a place many see as just a structure, but for those of us who have spent countless hours within it, believe me, that auditorium is a living, breathing thing. It's a part of our theater program. That space is sacred. And I I beseech the board and this district to continue to care for it. We have already taken steps. Quotes have been gathered and thoughtful planning has been done. Now all we need is a date, a commitment to move forward with preserving the very heartbeat of our arts in our district. Now I know that often we look to districts similar size and demographics to guide our decisions, and at times this might be necessary, I understand. But I say this with conviction. Carrizo Springs should not follow the lead of others. We should be setting the standard with our successful programs, others should aspire to reach the level of commitment, quality, and success that we have definitely reached. As I close, I offer one guiding principle. If success is happening, don't make a radical change to the formula. What we've built in UIL academics and theater is working. It's producing strong students. Right there is the proof. Miss Alex Chapa. Also proud alumni and a program that others strive to emulate. And I know change is inevitable, but it should always be thoughtful, intentional, and in the service of continued growth, not disruption. Thank you for allowing me to walk alongside so many talented students and colleagues on this journey. It has truly been the honor of a lifetime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Escamilla.
Madam President, I know we're not supposed to respond to, but if I may, if I'm so allowed, I can speak, and I shared this with Mr. Escamilla at his retirement service here. It is I can speak as a parent, as an administrator, and now a board member of this district. In attending various meets, from elementary all the way to high school, it's an awesome feeling, and it's awesome to see how our kids perform academically. They're using their brain power, as you put in those several messages, Wildcat brain power. When you go to those meets, and you're there as a parent or administrator, or however, and we got this. We are, I'm not gonna mention the other schools that we like to beat every year, but we got this, and we know we're coming home with medals and hardware. So kudos to you and your staff, your teachers, your students. Fantastic job. Thank you so much for all your years.
It's definitely some hard shoes to fill, with your retirement, Mr. Escamilla. Okay, we'll continue to 8A, Child Nutrition Summer Feeding Program, Ms. Marroquin.
Good evening, President Franco. Sorry, can you hear me? Good evening, President Franco, members of the board, and Superintendent Pearson. Thank you for this opportunity for me to share an update with you about our summer feeding program, our seamless summer option. As I just wanted to give you a quick update on the numbers that we have for this year. We have served, as of today, 7,550 meals to our children here in Carrizo Springs, Big Wells, Asherton, the church. We have had less participation this year than we did last year. We are trying very hard to try to entice the children to come. We've gone as far as bringing music to the different sites, Asherton and Big Wells especially. We have brought books, thanks to Mrs. Garcia for supporting some of the books that we have been reading to the children, trying to, again, entice them to come, that, it's just not for feeding them, but also so that they can have a cool place to come for the summer good meal. We've extended our invitation to the students attending the summer school, as well as those involved in extracurricular activities such as athletics and band, and I would like to commend Coach Gonzalez for making sure that his students, his athletes, all come in and get their lunch. It goes for all athletics and band. That has really helped us at the high school. Our summer feeding program is open to all students under the age of 18, and we have 5 sites. We do, like I said, both summer school, high school and elementary, Asherton and Big Wells, and the Catholic Church. I am sorry to report that at Big Wells and Asherton has not been very successful this year. we're trying everything we can to bring them in. I have heard that some of the parents are complaining because the children they must be served and they must eat on campus. And the parents don't want to stay there, for a amount of time with the kids. The way our application is filled out is that we must be congregate, and so we must serve the students there. We have encouraged the parents to bring their own meals with them, to sit there and, have some quality time with their children. So, we've done that as well. I wanted to say, for next year, I have spoken to Ms. Pearson and Mrs. Diaz, and we hope to be able to open it up and partnership with the city of Carrizo Springs. Maybe we can bring meals to the Civic Center and possibly the West Wind Apartments to try to get those children. So that's one of our goals for next year. I do want to say that the church, Father Jersey sends his gratitude to the board and Mrs. Pearson for allowing us to come out there and feed these children. And I just want to say that we're grateful to the board's continued support of this vital program. We ask for your help spreading the word. I also would like to thank Mrs. Claudia McDaniel. Every time I send the articles to her, she'll put them in the paper for us. Thanks to Mrs. Pearson, Rolando, and Gilbert. They put it on our website. I have gone to Asherton and Big Wells, left advertisement cards, anything to try to bring the students in. So at this time, that's all I have to report to you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Item 8, no, sorry. Item 9, superintendent briefing.
Yes, thank you. So the end of the year brought lots of special recognitions. We had our secondary teacher of the year, Ms. Amanda Santos, where she is being recognized. And then for our elementary teacher of the year was Ms. Jennifer Vega, our teacher over at CSE, and we're very proud of these teachers. They do a tremendous job and pour into our students and our learning community. They were recognized at our end of the year ceremony as well. This year we also introduced Rookie Teacher of the Year. This idea was born by Ms. Gonzalez, curriculum specialist, and we were just happy to see the expression of some of our first year teachers. Here we have Ms. Caitlin Garcia, who is the music teacher over at the elementary. And then we have Ms. Cristina Rodriguez, teacher at CSI, rookie teacher. And then Ms. Gabriela Gonzalez over at the junior high. And then Ms. Brooke Diaz over at the high school. And we're very grateful for our new teachers. They're very coachable and continue to learn and grow. And then we had our service year recognition over in the auditorium. I had a great time with that, recognizing all of our years of service. be named. Later on, there'll be a competition. We'll be sending it out via our social media so that we can vote for our very own Coach Gio Gonzalez. Again, tremendous accomplishment with over 1,000 schools for him to get this recognition of one of 60. And then our bond, we had just recently on June 10th, we had a contractor fair. Thank you for TWS, Mr. Sanchez and Mr. Nick Martinez for being there. Also Butler Cohen, who are our construction managers that attended. We had about 8 or so subcontractors from the area and surrounding area join us. Here you have a screenshot of our webpage. If you go to our webpage, you can click the join here, and it will take you to a page where you can fill in information if you would like to be considered as a subcontractor. And that's something that our TWS is monitoring, and so is Butler Cohen. As far as our bond update as well, we have been working on our design development. We are about at almost 100%. We've met with our directors, with our principals. We will be reviewing the plans one more time and plan to bring them to the board for consideration of approval at our July 29th board meeting. And then our legislative update. These are just a few. There's quite a few, but one of them is House Bill 1481 with a cell phone policy that requires prohibiting students from using cell phones and smartwatches on school property during the school day. We did already have this established as procedures on our school, so we have a draft currently that we're working on. We'll be bringing that to the board for approval in our July meeting, where students will have to put their phones and smartwatches away during instructional time. House Bill 2 is a big one. This one is the one that is allowing the teacher retention pay increase. And so we will be working with that because we're a small district under 5,000. It is $8,000 from base pay for teachers that have 5+ years of experience, and teachers that are 3 or 4 years of experience is $4,000. This also allows for full day pre-kinder as an eligibility now for all certified teachers. Certified teacher is a definition from Texas Education Agency. They must teach students for at least 4 hours a day. The bill also allows for other funding for special education, for CTE, also some raises for non-administrative pay increases. So those are things that we'll be bringing to the board at our compensation plan later this month. And then also there was money allocated to Bluebonnet, which is one that we are using. Also up the basic allotment by $55. And then we also, for the next, on the next screen, we have Senate Bill 4, Senate Bill 23, which was a hold harmless for homestead exemptions. It did raise that from $100,000 to $140,000. They are also doing a hold harmless for districts this year because of lost revenue for that. And then House Bill 33, the Uvalde Strong Act. This one has quite a bit of compliance for safety. It requires every campus to have a breaching tool, ballistic shield. So these are some things that we'll be looking to bring to the board in the future. There's quite a few legislative updates that are going to require board approval, and these are just a few. That's the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we'll go to item 10, reports, informational items, financial briefing. Ms. Diaz?
Thank you. Good evening. I'll start with our executive summary for year-to-date expenses as of May 2025, our revenue and expenses. On that first page where you have your summary for the general fund, currently, as of May, we're 75% of the year passed as of May, so we have 3 months left. Yep. General fund, we have our revenue, we've collected 94% of our revenue for the year so far. Our expenses are 33%, and the reason is because of the Chapter 41 payment, which goes out in August. But net of Chapter 41, I did my own calculation, we're about 68% of where we thought we would be, so that's good, considering that we're 75% of the time has passed. In food service, we've collected about 80% of our revenue for the year. Our expenses are lower than that amount. We're at 71%. And for interest and sinking, again, on that fund, we don't pay our bond payment till August, so we've collected 99% of our revenue so far for the bond payment, and we're at 37% of expenses, because again, we made those payments in February, and then we'll make the next part in August. On that bottom section for fund balance, for general fund, we have our audited balance of 24 million. Revenue collected to date as of May is 59.6 million. Our expenses are 23 million. So our revenue over expenses for the current year as of May is 36.5 million. Of course, from that part, we will pay the Chapter 41 payment. Regardless, at this moment then, what we have in our unaudited fund balance is 60.6 million for the general fund. In food service, we've collected year-to-date 1.5 million. Our expenses are 1.6. So revenue over expenses right now, we're 160,000, which is really well. And then our debt service, we have 3.6 in our fund balance. We've collected 11.2 million, paid 4.4 so far on our bond payments. And so our revenue over expenses now is at 6.7. And so that's where we are in the overview. On the next page, for board review, on general fund, you can see our local collections, which includes our tax dollars, of course, and then state and federal collections, and there's the breakdown of the 59.6. And then on the bottom half, you'll see our expenditures by function, just so you can have an overview of where we are budgeted and where we are for the month and where we are year-to-date actual. And you carry on down to the bottom, you can see our total expenses. Okay, and you can see that roughly our fund balance, Chapter 41 payment is about $35 million, so just as a rough, so you can see where we are there. On the next page for food service, like I mentioned earlier, 1.5 in collections for revenue and 1.6 on the expenses. So we're doing really well there at a shortfall of 160,000, so it's pretty good for this year. And then the debt service page, like I just mentioned a bit ago, so I don't have more detailed information to add to that. I'll continue on to the board budget amendments. We're not presenting any board budget amendments at this board meeting. That page there is a recap of what we've done this year so far as any board-approved budget amendments. So that's just an ongoing ledger there. On the special maintenance project at the beginning of the year, the board did approve $350,000 for emergency purchases, and we really appreciate that. We've allocated $103,000, so we're doing well as far as maintaining. Our balance for that $350,000 is $246,000, and we have no budget amendments or requests pending at this time. On the next page, you'll see our interest earned so far. So last month in April, we collected across all funds, general fund, interest and sinking, and construction, $625,536 in interest. This month, $579,557 in interest. And so there you can see a side-by-side and at the very bottom. So general fund for the year, 1.4 million. Interest and sinking, 258,000. Construction, we have two sources where we put our money into, two sources. So it's 95,744 and then 3,164,000 in interest collected so far. And then on the bottom, I'm just showing you year by year where we are on interest. On the next page, you'll see our construction fund financials for May. So for the current month, I already covered the interest, but on our expenses, we have paid $440,955. And then right after that, you'll see a breakdown of that amount by school year and also by vendor. Okay. And that's the financial briefing.
Thank you, Ms. Diaz.
Yes.
Can we go to, no questions? Item 11, approval of consent agenda items.
Ma'am, if you have any questions for Mr. Cabello, he's here on the quarterly delinquent tax report or any of the items, I'm available.
Any questions for Mr. Cabello? Does he want- Mr. Cabello, since you're here, did you have anything you needed to present?
It's just my normal report. I don't have it, I mean, I have it here, but the first item, just briefly, it's the first thing we did, anything different this quarter was that in May, we have to do, by law, we have to send out a delinquent notice to every taxpayer that's on the tax rolls. So we mailed out approximately 3,470 letters for that mailing. But other than that, the report goes on to the final notice letters that we mailed out, the taxes we filed, the tax dockets we held. We had 2 tax dockets last quarter. We had 2 more that were already held in May. And we have another, it's not on the report, but we have another one already set for August. And then the last thing would be the delinquent collections for the base tax. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. The very last one. And the base tax collected for the whole quarter totaled $82,907.20. And that amount is broken up there by each month of the quarter and by the 2 funds, the M&O and INS fund. So that's basically the same report every quarter. It just, the only thing that's really, really different was that the mass mailing that we had to send out in May.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a little extraordinary item on the Bethpage Consulting. Are there any questions on that? The reason I say it's extraordinary is because I want to bring that in compliance as we move forward into the next month, into August. We need board approval to exceed 50,000, and so that's what we're requesting. We're also requesting to change contracts from our existing contract into one with GSA, which will, that's like the procurement is already done, like you hear by board, it's the same thing, General Services Administration. So I'd like for us to convert our contract from the existing contract to that and continue with the services, but asking also for your approval for that and also to exceed 50,000 because when we get to the August games, we'll be at the point where we're gonna exceed it.
President Franco, thank you, Ms. Diaz, for bringing that. So in specific to it's under labor category, shall we save those questions for for our next meeting, when there's further discussion. I only had one question on that specific section, labor category. Are we gonna be bringing this back as a discussion item? No? Okay, okay. I apologize.
You
Okay.
can ask, yeah.
So in that area of labor category, are we paying for each of these services? I guess that's the right word I'm looking for. And if you don't have the answer today, I apologize. If we can look into that.
What we're, the services that we're paying for are the athletic trainer services.
Okay.
That's the category that we're really utilizing.
So that
But,
would be athletic trainer lead, athletic trainer 1, athletic trainer 2.
No.
Correct.
We just have one athletic trainer.
One athletic trainer. Okay.
yeah, in New Year, we may be looking at 2, I'm not sure. But right now, for current year, it's 1.
Okay.
We're not looking at two, we're just looking
One.
at one trainer. I visited with Mr. Gio Gonzalez.
Okay.
It's always only been one trainer. And we actually have the trainer right now, his name's Mr. Lee Knox.
Okay.
He joined us during baseball season in May, and he's the one that's scheduled to continue with us.
Okay,
as
thank
a
you.
full-time trainer. We have not had a full-time trainer with this contract. We've had to have different trainers. That's why we never exceeded, because we weren't able to fill the position. Now that we have Mr. Knox, we hope to be able to have him full-time. So full-time, what that means is from the morning, the start of the school day, through the whole school day, and then if there's a game, they would stay for the
Right.
game.
Okay.
And it would be a consistent trainer, which is a great benefit for our families and our students, because if we have students who are injured, then having a consistent trainer that's here every day can do some of the conditioning, strengthening, some of the training that we want to do, so that the players don't have to travel to the doctor every day, or, even weekly. Some of it, the athletic trainer is certified and trained to be able to do with them. Some of their rehabilitation.
Okay.
Ms. Pearson,
Thank you.
we did used to have 2 trainers. It was just until they left this previous year that, when they left, that's when we went down to 1, but we've always had 2 trainers.
It's really hard for us to even get the one. We did not even have one consistent one this year. So our hope and really our prayer is for Mr. Lee Knox to stay with us for the full year.
But we have had 2, just for the record.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't aware of that. Thank you.
Madam President.
Thank you.
I just would like to remove item H from the consent agenda. The approval of the Central Appraisal District proposed budget for 25-26. Because during our last meeting, the Appraisal District Board meeting, we postponed this item. So until we postpone it for our next meeting.
Okay.
So, we need to take out this item from the consent agenda.
Okay. Okay, so we'll remove that. Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Do we know what the cost was for the previous contract and what the cost would be for the new contract?
Okay, the costs we're not expecting to change. It's because of the number of events. By the time we get to August 31, we'll exceed the 50,000. So it's under that amount. For New Year, we'll review that and propose it to you for New Year budget. So right now, this proposal is to, hold on. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, that is where I had that indication from Mr. Giovanni, Ms. Pearson. When we met originally, we were looking at the 1. If we continue at that rate, it'd be right around, we're going to be right above 50, maybe 65,000. Now, in the new year, depends again, if we go with 1 or 2, then when we adopt that budget, we can discuss if it'll be 1 or 2 for the new year, depending on the availability through Bethpage Consulting.
So the previous one was 55 or
The one that we're in right now? Yeah, the one that we're in right now. In fact, I have it right here. Yeah, the one that we have right now is not to exceed 50,000. But in calculating where we're at right now, and we were estimating where we're with the few games in August, we were going to exceed the 50,000. So does that answer your question, where we're at right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just wondering how, if there's a big difference, how much is it gonna change?
Well, right now, I'm not proposing anything different other than continue the services now for New Year, which will exceed 50,000. So roughly, it's about 65,000.
Thank
Yeah.
you, ma'am. What was the start time? I'm sorry.
This was July 1 of 2024 to 6/30. But in the new year, we'll go for the whole period through August 31, so it'll align with our fiscal year. Okay.
Mrs. Diaz,
Yes.
I have a question on the quarterly investment report.
Mm-hmm.
Because as of this month, our investment for U.S. Treasuries amounted to like 17.4 million. This is one of our long-term investments, and other investment we did to U.S. agencies is 21.2 million. But these two investment, the par value or the original value was for U.S. Treasuries is 20.9 million, and for U.S. agencies is 24.8 million. So there was a decrease of about 7 million. So what happened to these investments? Are they matured, some of them, or did we do like did we draw some amount for this? But these are long-term investments, so
Yeah, so we had a meeting with Barry Bauer, he's our consultant with Meter. And so at this time, we do have like a ladder, you can see them, I'm not sure which page it is exactly, but some of these will be expiring, and so we need to be discussing if we're going to be renewing them or how we're going to reinvest, especially with construction expenses that are ongoing now. So we probably need to do an evaluation of that cash flow, so we can do that.
yeah. Because when we invested this, it's like 330 days investment and 310 days for the other investment. So right now, they will mature in around 180 days, and the other one 150 days. So
Yeah, and we also discussed investing into the Texas Connect. Remember that new vehicle that we discussed? We talked about that as well, so we'll follow up on that. And maybe if we have a finance committee, we can discuss it. That would be good. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
We need a motion, correct? For item 11, I make the motion to approve item 11, approval of consent agenda items as shared or as reviewed.
Motion made by Michael Uriegas,
Sir, and that was excluding item H, correct? Okay.
Yes, excluding item H, yes.
motion made by Michael Uriegas, seconded by Al Doria to approve the consent agenda items A through G with the removal of H. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. Okay, item 12A, consider approval of enrollment procedure for non-eligible pre-kindergarten students.
Thank you, Board President and trustees. Ms. Garcia, if you would come up just in case the board should have some
Ms. Garcia.
additional questions, please. Thank you. So, Ms. Garcia and I worked on this in light of House Bill 2 that has expanded pre-kindergarten eligibility criteria and introduced new funding structures to ensure increased access for qualifying students. That does now include the children of certified educators. That is teachers that are defined by Texas Education Agency as a 087, which they instruct at least for 4 hours a day. These changes present an opportunity for the district to refine its enrollment practices while remaining in compliance with the state mandates. As you all can recall, one of the reasons we were previously wanting to potentially maybe have a tuition base was to extend that as an opportunity for our teachers. So House Bill kind of changed our recommendation. So we are at this time recommending that we allow for not only our teachers who are now eligible, for us to also allow non-eligible students up into the max of the 4 current teachers we have staffed at the pre-kinder classroom. So Senate Bill 2081 allows our class cap at class sizes of 22 students per teacher. We also have 1 paraprofessional in each class, which makes it an 11-to-1 ratio. And so we would like to propose that we continue to offer the required state-defined eligibility for our students that qualify with limited English proficiency, economically disadvantaged, homeless status, foster care under the conservatorship of the Family Protective Services, child of active military personnel or those killed or injured in service, recipients of the Texas Award, and then the child of certified teachers. So we want to recommend that we allow non-eligible students as well if seats remain available within the staffing limits of the allocated certified teachers during the staffing process. We believe that this does align to our board goals as a growth progress measure towards having our 3rd graders perform reading on grade level and math instruction. And so allowing the seats to be filled on a first-come, first-served basis using a time-stamped registration system to ensure fairness and transparency. No additional sections or teachers will be added beyond the currently allocated positions. This would still allow the district to be in compliance with the student-to-teacher ratio and also ensure that each classroom has the instructional aid to, again, that 11-to-1 ratio. So in order to implement the intent of House Bill 2 to prioritize students most in need while also still offering flexibility to our families seeking the pre-kindergarten opportunity, we're requesting that the board's approval to allow us to communicate clearly with our families and efficiently manage our pre-kindergarten program enrollment. Any questions?
I got a question. What is the max capacity? We have 88 students. That'll be our max. 88?
Correct.
Current, 78.
88, right?
78. 78.
No, the current amount we can have for the 25.
Oh, the current, I'm sorry, yes, sir, I'm sorry, I misheard. Yes, 88, yes.
4 teachers, 22 students per teacher group, right?
Correct.
And this year, Ms. Garcia, we had about 76 students, ma'am, is that correct?
Yes, 78, I believe at one time we were up to 78, and we ended the year at 76.
And when's registration again? Late July?
July 21st will be our next round.
So right now our numbers are the same as last time we talked about it, right?
So we assessed 2 of the students, we were at 28, and 2 of the students did qualify under language, so that put us at 30. We have 2 students that were teachers, children of current teachers, so that would be 32. We have 1 student pending the military paperwork, so that would put us at 31 eligible, and about 8 that did not qualify that we could bring into the program tomorrow.
So as of now, we have 78, you said 78 students?
Correct.
So it will be only have 10 more, right?
Correct, but during the last 3 years, These are the numbers where we've been at during our first roundup, and then for some reason, second roundup, we get everybody else. So I don't foresee them staying at this number.
How many certified teachers have pre-K?
Currently, we have 4, and each teacher has 1 paraprofessional so that we have that 1-to-11 ratio.
Thank you.
So I guess my next question would be, since, the non-eligible students, so we'll say you have 8 right now that don't qualify, right?
Yes, sir.
So if we, for some reason, fill up to the max with the kids that qualify, then those 8 that already registered right now, they'll be off the books, correct?
Not if we vote today, right, to allow them.
If we fill our max capacity of 88 students, the 8 students that didn't qualify, they're registered now, would it be, because it says here, right? If it doesn't, only if seats remain available. So that's what I'm saying. So if you have 8 kids that didn't qualify right now, and just say at the end of July, you get 88 kids. So these 8 kids that didn't qualify right now,
Possibly, but we haven't had 8, at least in the last years that I've been here. We haven't been at capacity with pre-K.
If no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented by Superintendent Pearson.
Okay. Motion made by Wilbur Cruz to approve the enrollment procedure as presented by Ms. Pearson for the non-eligible pre-K students.
I second.
Seconded by Noe Zarate. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Motion carries. 12B, consider approval of employee health insurance benefits, voluntary products, and contribution strategy for the plan year 2025, 2026.
Oh, there we go. Green light. Good evening, Board President Franco, Superintendent Pearson, and members of the board. My name is Liz Bebo, and I'm here with Hub International, your employee benefits consulting firm, and I also have my colleague Patrick Avila with me as well. We're going to discuss tonight the health plan briefing and make recommendations for your approval for the health plan coverage for the plan year, which starts in September of 2025. Just as an overview relative to your medical and pharmacy plan, you have a fully insured plan, so you pay a premium to Blue Cross Blue Shield for the coverage. The experience period that we'll be looking at this evening, your loss ratio is running at 125%, which means that your premiums are not covering the expenses of the plan. A target loss ratio for Blue Cross Blue Shield would be 85%. So again, that 125% is higher than target. I did note a couple of the items that are contributing to the loss ratio. One is higher than expected utilization of the plan. You do have several high-cost claimants over $50,000. That has been year-over-year increase of about 19%. And then year-over-year increases in your specialty medications, which are medications that are typically infused or administered by a physician. If you think about maybe chemotherapy or something like that, that has increased 32% in the plan years. When we look at the renewal, the experience period, as I mentioned, is April through March, April 24 through March of 25. They're using 85% of that experience, and then some of your 23, 24 experience. Your medical trend for this experience period is 11.5%. That's a little bit higher than the national average. And then your pharmacy trend at almost 14%, while a little bit higher than expected, is falling in line with what we're seeing for pharmacy trend in this year. Your plan is considered 92% credible, meaning that your claims experience can be used to predict future claims experience with an application of about 92%. Your plan is running higher than the Blue Cross Blue Shield book of business, so you do get a little bit of favorability in your renewal rate because of that manual application. As we look at the projected cost for claims, we can see that is about $768 per employee per month. We also then have stop loss or pooling premium, which is paid to protect the plan over claimants of $115,000. We do see, as we're looking at the claims experience expectations for next year, we do see that 7 claimants, large claimants that you have today in your plan, do have diagnoses which are considered to be ongoing and will impact the plan for next year. We did see a slight increase in administrative expenses, and then the underwriters at Blue Cross did give a small decrement just to make the as an discretionary adjustment. So Blue Cross Blue Shield suggested renewal was a 42% increase. We reviewed the renewal, made some suggestions relative to the pooling increases, the administrative increases, and we were able to get the increase down to a 29.5% increase from the 42% that Blue Cross had proposed. On your, just as you're looking at current rates and contributions, so these are the per employee per month contributions that the district makes towards the premium for the health plan for your employees. On the PPO plans, the district contributes $563 per employee per month towards that premium. And then on the HSA plan, which is your qualified high deductible plan with the savings account attached to it, the district contribution of $513 per employee per month is lower than on the PPO plans, but the district contributes $600 per year into the health savings accounts for your employees that participate in that plan, so that the district can help with those first dollar claim coverage nature of the high deductible plan, and also encourage employees to contribute to those savings account for future medical expenses. On the HSA plan, that is a triple tax advantage, so employees can put money into the account pre-tax. Any interest earned on the monies in that account are pre-tax. And then when employees use those funds for medical expenses, they don't pay taxes when they take that money out. So it is a very good benefit for employees to participate in that plan. On the renewal rates and contribution page here, our proposal demonstrates what the impact to employee contributions would be, assuming that the district does not increase the current contribution level. So really what happens here is the employee contributions increase the 29%, and we can see on the exhibit the changes here to what the employees would pay both on a monthly basis and then what the percentage changes from the current contributions. The only plan that would have a slight increase in the funding from the district would be the high deductible HSA plan, because on the employee contribution, there is no employee contribution, it's all district contribution. On the voluntary benefits, we had originally, based on the benefit committee recommendations, we had asked for a dual option vision plan. These plans are paid for by the employees. There is no district contributions. However, the committee met yesterday and they decided that they're going to go with the one vision plan, but with the enhanced benefits. In summary, the recommendation or the proposal that you have before you is that the district contribution remains at the current level for the employees' premiums. We do know from working with the committee, there's been 4 meetings this year, that employees are very happy with the change to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that we would continue in the next year to promote the programs that are available under your Blue Cross Blue Shield plan to help employees manage chronic disease, illnesses, and then also make cost-effective choices when they're seeking medical or prescription coverage. We also recommend that the district continue to make that $600 contribution into the health savings account. Again, this helps employees with the first dollar coverage nature of the high deductible health plan. It also helps to promote savings in those bank accounts. The one difference to the recommendation that we're making this year from last year is last year there was a $600 contribution at the beginning of the plan year. Our recommendation is that you make a $300 contribution at the start of the plan year, and then $50 per month from March to August. That just helps with if you have employee turnover, because those accounts are portable for employees. So when the district puts in money for those accounts, they can take that money with them. It's not like it's not a use it or lose it type of savings account. And then finally, the employee voluntary benefits. Those are paid for by the employees. There are no changes to rates on those plans, so we recommend that you renew those plans as is, with the exception of the vision plan, which is going to see enhanced benefits for the next plan year. And with that, if there's any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them for you.
Questions? No questions?
Well, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Thank you.
This is an action item that, do I have a motion?
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the employee health insurance benefits.
Motion made by Wilbur Cruz to approve the employee health insurance benefits, voluntary products, and contribution strategy for the plan 2025-2026, seconded by Jeff Ortiz. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to pause us for just a moment of silence, please. Carrizo Springs ISD did have a student, our beautiful Miss Ava Avila, who passed, and we love Ava, and we would like to honor her with just a moment of silence, please. Thank you.
Item 13, executive session. Discussion authorized by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.001. A, personnel matters, discussion of resignation, retirements, leaves of absence, reassignments, new employment, new personnel position, duties, responsibilities of employees. Can I go ahead and read this? Discussion regarding third-party audit in connection with the varsity cheer and student council group accounts and former CSHS teacher and cheer sponsor and matters related thereto. And consider superintendent's recommendation for elementary assistant principal. B, student government code will take place for deliberation regarding safety and security, including safety personnel, systems, and/or devices, or security audit. We have discussion regarding purchase of emergency law enforcement equipment and vehicle for Carrizo Springs CISD Police Department and matters related thereto. And consideration of future board meeting minutes. Time is 7:38. We are now in executive session. Time is 9:54. We're back from executive session. Do I have any motion? Do I have a motion for the, to consider superintendent's recommendation for the elementary assistant principal? A motion made by Wilbur Cruz, seconded by Aldoria, to approve the superintendent's recommendation for elementary assistant principal Alyssa Rodriguez. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. On the discussion regarding purchase of emergency law enforcement equipment for vehicle, oh, wait, no, sorry. On the discussion, where is it? Okay, on the discussion of the purchase of law enforcement equipment for the Carrizo Springs CISD Police Department. Do I have a motion?
I'll go to make the motion to approve the purchases, the purchase of the safety equipment for the law enforcement. I second.
Motion made by Wilbur Cruz, seconded by Noe Zarate, to approve the purchase of emergency law enforcement equipment for the Carrizo Springs CSCISD Police Department, as discussed in executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Opposed? None. Motion carries. Item 15, adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion. Motion made by Jeff Ortiz,
Second.
seconded by Noe Zarate, to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.